Our judiciary correspondent Celestina Iria joins me on the news to discuss the mode of residence in the Federal Capital Territory. Celestina, thank you so much for joining me on this rather good news. How are the people in Abuja receiving this news?
Well, it's a good news to them because some will not have access to the new and the old Naira note as directed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that the old Naira note should be brought back to circulation. So this means that Nigerians that have the old Naira note should not be scared to spend them, and also Nigerians who engage in businesses should not be afraid to receive them because they are still legal tender. Well, this has caused untold hardship on residents across the country because some persons had money because of the directive given by the CBN, deposited their money in various banks, but getting those money back were a problem. So now what this means is that since December 31st, 2023, those monies are still legal tender. The Supreme Court has said that it noticed that the CBN governor will not act without the directive of the president. So even though the AGF in its plenary objection stated that the CBN governor was not joined in the suit because most of the issues the state government have were against the CBN. Why did they not bring the CBN as a party in the suit? And the justices said that the CBN has a principal, and the principal is the federal government, and the federal government was the first defendant in this matter. And they heard that the president, but it was aired in law to have listened to only the CBN, his cabinet, which is the National Executive Economic Council, because it is a monetary policy that borders on the economy. Though the AGF in the preliminary objection also raised that the court lacked the jurisdiction because it is a monetary policy that was supposed to be brought at the Federal High Court. And the Supreme Court said that it is an issue between the states and the federation. That was an issue because the AGF had said it was an issue between the states and the federal government. And the Supreme Court said that it is an issue between the states and the federation because the states governments came on behalf of their constituents. So they stand in the gap for the residents and the citizens and the indigents of their various states. So today the Supreme Court has given its judgment. We know that the president is a Democrat and would want the continuity of Nigerian democracy and will obey this final judgment. Although he had disobeyed the interim order given on February 8th, wherein he said only 200 naira should be brought back to circulation. Now the Supreme Court has not only faulted that, the Supreme Court also said that the limitation of withdrawal from our ATM, where the CBN said only 100,000 naira in a week and 20,000 naira a day, the Supreme Court faulted that monies, and it is only 200 naira denomination that should be put in the ATM. The Supreme Court also faulted that. And the fact that third-party check over the counter, the Supreme Court faulted all the directives that was given under the cash redesign policy, stating that money should be brought back to circulation, and Nigerians should not go as far as engaging in trade by barter. As we've seen in Edo State, some persons have to create a market where, okay, what you have, you bring what you have, I give you what you want, trade by barter, in this modern age and era. Although some persons are saying that, okay, fine, this Naira redesign policy will curb insecurity, will curb kidnapping, will curb banditry. Yes, we do understand that the level, we have high rates of all these things in the country, but the manner at which the CBN governor and the president went ahead with the Naira redesign policy was faulted at the Supreme Court today.
All right, Celestina Iria, although we saw in a video on Twitter shared by Obasani where the president said that he didn't intend untold hardship on Nigerians, we're just looking forward to seeing whether the Central Bank of Nigeria will comply with this directive. Thank you so much, Celestina Iria, live for us in Abuja. Now, away from the Naira redesign policy, the national chairman of